If we attempt to erase the concept of male and female, we lose the ability to discuss any issue which has to do with that reality, like the fact that only women have babies.
Chest feeding, pregnant person, menstruator. There's a long list of gender neutral terms now that have entered everyday language, both in education right up into academia and into politics as well. Do you think the use of this gender neutral terminology is the correct approach?
No, I think it's a disaster. And it's denying biological reality that we are cohesive humans who come in two sexes. And the sexes are meaningful. Male and female capture those terms, the fact that there are two reproductive classes across organisms. That doesn't mean that each organism is one or the other. Some are both at the same time. Some will be born one sex and then transition to another sex. Certain types of fish, like there's so many different kinds of organisms, but still there's male and female, and they're meaningful categories. And this relates to what we were talking about earlier, which is the fact that the existence of those categories does not by itself undermine anyone's rights. However, it is a biological fact that is extremely powerful. That is why I wrote a book about how we're different from a biological point of view. And if we attempt to erase those differences and erase the concept of male and female, we lose the ability to discuss any issue which has to do with that reality, like the fact that only women have babies, only women breastfeed. And that basic difference between women and men has huge cultural implications. Only women, for the most part, only women fear being raped almost every time they're out alone by themselves, in a city or on average after dark. Women have a constant fear of sexual assault. That's just something that we live with, and we have to design our lives around that fact. This is because of our biology, again, and men are bigger and stronger, and men I'm saying everything in the negative, which I shouldn't, but men, do not carry the babies and breastfeed the babies. And there's so many other really important differences that need to be acknowledged, for one thing. But that does not mean that trans people don't exist, or that trans people shouldn't have any rights, or that it has very few sort of implications. Those facts have very few implications on their own for the rights of transgender people, who, of course, should live without being, without discrimination, should have lives where they can freely choose how they want to live and live with dignity and have the health care that they need. So the implications of, sorry, I get very emotional about all this,
Please
of being male or female are very important. The solution to our problems, the solution to these social justice issues, is not to pretend that reality doesn't exist. This is dangerous. It's manipulative. It reduces our ability to understand the world and ourselves. So I will fight for retaining clear language and being as sensitive as possible to, in this case, issues that transgender people face. But it is a small portion of transgender rights activists who are sort of militant and demanding that certain terms be used, and even, becoming very bullying about towards people who don't want to use those terms. I do not believe that people should be required to use I will say preferred pronouns. I use preferred pronouns because I know that it can be very difficult for trans people to be referred to by their biological sex. But I also understand some people who have sort of a conscientious objection to that. And that's, their point of view. I don't think you can require other people to sort of play into your own demands about how you want to be referred to. So I think that's a difficult topic, but no, I think that this disembodying human beings and starting to think of us as a constellation of disparate systems and parts is extremely dangerous. I hope that does seem to be where we're going, that you can just sort of trade off body parts. And maybe in some cases that makes sense, but we do need to acknowledge that we are whole individuals. We are made this way for a reason, and that there is a danger in just trying to trade off body parts. We don't know where that is going to lead. People who have penises and make sperm have a lot of other traits, psychologically and physically, that sort of work as a package. And there are reasons for that. And I think we have to be very careful about messing around with these basic systems.